Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello guys, my name is Nadya Febriana. I'm from English Education Department 2019 Class D. In this video, I will tell you about fairy tales in ancient times, the legend of the origin of rice. Once upon a time, along the arctic village of Tanah Lingo, Kalimantan Island, since there was nothing left to eat. Famine hit the villagers. They are busy talking about the cause of the long drought. However, no answer was obtained. Finally, the matter was handed over to Datu Baru Taun, the highest leader in the village. Then, Datu Baru Taun got the answer that this incident was the result of human activity that violated the prohibition of the ancestors. Many residents have signed, those signs will be forgiven by a sacrifice in the form of I was offering. However, no one was willing to sacrifice their souls. In difficult situation, a teenage girl comes to the fore. It turned out that she was Putri Liung, the son of Datu Baru Taun. She is ready to sacrifice himself to atone for the sins committed by the people in this village. For Datu Baru Taun, this is a real dilemma. Princess Liung is the only child he really loves, but as village head, he must not resist efforts to save his village. Eventually, Princess Liung's determination was completely unanimous. Suddenly, Datu Baru Taun announced to the public that the ancestors want their daughter's sacrifice. Putri Liung was taken to an open field located outside the village. The residents gathered to watch the princess sacrifice. Not long after, the sacrifice was immediately carried out. Princess Liung was stabbed to death, but didn't scream at all. Her face looked radiant after the bolts fired. Her body fell to the motherland's lap. As a form of loyalty to her ancestors, Putri Liung's body was immediately interred, accompanied by cries and hopes of the residents for a good change in their village. After corpse was buried and given the last respect by sowing flowers and praying together, suddenly there was a thundering lightning. Overcast clouds accompanied the ghost of the princess. Not long after, it rained heavily, lightning flashed, and thunder sounds ringing, like splitting the earth. The resident thought that this all-powerful natural event was a sign the Putri Liung sacrifice was accepted and the villagers' sins were forgiven. A few days later, village life returned to normal. The rise of the sun shone on the earth. Plants began to flourish. Animals reproduced rapidly. Forests turned green again, and clear river water rippled through the surrounding area. The village rejoiced to welcome the improving condition of the village. One day the residents were shocked. by a strange thing that happened at the place of the princess' sacrifice. Right on the ground when the princess fell to death. A kind of grass grew, bearing branch. Apparently, a new type of plant was growing that was previously unknown to the local population. That was the first time the residents were familiar with rice plants. According to local people's beliefs, Putri Liung has transformed into a type of grass with fatty grains in the form of grains of rice. It becomes a plant that produces staple food and is favored by the population. The rice plant becomes increasingly recognized and become the main crop in the village. Later, the rice plant became the good of the farmers. Moral message from ancient fairy tales, the legend of the origin of rice is sacrifice and determination will surely produce extraordinary results. No sacrifice is wise. There is no struggle without sacrifice. Done. Sorry for mistake. Thank you and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.